So I want to start by talking a little bit about our annual report. This is the beautiful cover. I owe a huge, huge thank you and debt of gratitude to Joanne Santavasi, our associate director, who has put this all together and has made this happen. You'll see on the cover, this is a picture of one of our College Aim alums. Her name is Patience Bigby, and she just graduated magna cum laude from Alabama A&M University. She is, and she started this fall doctoral program in physical therapy at Howard University. So she moved up to Maryland, just outside DC, has somehow been taking some mix of online and in-person classes and is making it happen. So Patience is just an example of some of the incredible things that our students are doing at this point. I also want to highlight two other students quickly. You'll see through our annual report when you take a look that we highlight a number of students. Two fantastic students who we're highlighting here this evening are Shahida and Kendall. Shahida is a sophomore this year at the University of West Georgia. She has a 3.8 GPA. It's a number that I never had in high school or college, and I'm just so impressed with the academic work she's doing. She's actually a peer tutor. She's done so well in her classes that she's helping out her classmates in a formal way as well. And she just recently got a scholarship from Chick-fil-A, a leadership scholarship from them, which was incredibly selective. So we're incredibly proud of Shahida. I also want to talk briefly about Kendall, who is a senior at Syracuse University. This year, he is a peer educator in his time outside the classroom, where he teaches students at Syracuse about healthy relationships and about sexuality. He's also the vice president of his fraternity. He's made Dean's List countless times. And this year he's wrapping up his fashion design major with a senior collection that's inspired by the Black Lives Matter movement. So you kind of get a sense of the breadth of things that our students are doing. And we highlighted these two because they're doing wonderful things, but you'll see across the board as you take a look at our annual report that that's really the case for all of our students. They're taking campus by storm, and we really couldn't be more proud of them. Let's take a look at our students this year and our students more broadly. So the students that College Aim serves, as many of you know, if you're on this call, are talented, they're creative, they're motivated, they're wonderful young people who are headed off to do amazing things. Most of them are going to be the first in their family to attend college, and they attend public schools in the Atlanta area that are stretched really thin in the counseling departments and in the advising departments, and we try to fill the gaps. So we provide the college guidance that the schools don't necessarily have the resources to provide. When we take a look at the numbers from 2019, 2020, it was our biggest year to date. So we had over 800 students in our program. 100% of those students were students of color, and about 90% of those students self-identify as Black or African American. You'll see that most of our students, almost all of our students, qualify for a Pell Grant, and our students have GPAs that range from below a 1.0 to above a 4.0 and everything in between. We don't have a cutoff or a minimum for how our students have to get into a program. We believe that every student deserves the services that we provide. I want to start, or I guess I've already started, but I want to talk briefly about why this work matters. I was at a conference earlier this year with the National College Attainment Network, and this stat kept coming back up, that 90% of kids who grow up in poverty but graduate from college will not live in poverty as adults. So what this tells us is that college truly is the gatekeeper, and the college degree is truly the key to social mobility in our world right now. And that's why we do this work, and that's why what you're going to hear about the rest of the evening really matters for so many of our students. As we speak about the work, our work really falls into two buckets with College Aim: the access side, which helps kids get to college, and the success side, which helps students get through college. So on the access side, there are three main kind of tenets to our work. We provide college exposure. So we take kids on college trips. As you've seen a lot of pictures in the past, I'm sure, on our social media. This is a wonderful picture of Adia and Jemiah this past February before COVID shut down our in-person college trips. This was on the campus of Swarthmore in Philadelphia. So this was one of our college trips this past year. Both are now seniors in the College Aim program. After we do the college exposure, we provide really intensive counseling through the college and financial aid application processes. Last year, we provided more than 1,700 hours of individual counseling to our students. and overall had over 170 curriculum graduates, meaning seniors who completed our program through high school and then moved into our post-secondary programming. And to do all that, to make all that work, we have a host of college relationships with schools across the city, state, and country. Those are technical colleges, two-year colleges, and four-year colleges as well. A couple numbers I want to highlight on the bottom are our college acceptances and the grants and scholarships earned. So on average, a college-aimed student earns just under 2.5 college acceptances. And those are going to be schools that are strong fits for them academically, socially, and financially. And total this past school year, our students earned almost $15 million in grants and scholarship offers, and then leveraged that to make college reality. I'm going to take a look real quick at the success side. So this is the newest part of our work. The picture you see here is Mariam Musa. She is one of our incredible college graduates in 2020. She graduated from Union College after having spent 4 years excelling in the classroom, doing some really wonderful things with theater, and just really impressed us through her 4 years in college. In our collegians programming, as I mentioned, or our success programming, like we call it, we support students through college graduation. We launched that programming in the 2019-2020 year as a pilot with 25 students in a formal way. And we support those students in their transition to college through a number of ways. And then we provide really intentional, targeted mentorship through all 4 years of college. And then we help build a community through these collegian gatherings. And we've seen it work. We saw all the students who engaged in our first year of the pilot program matriculate to their second year of college. And as you can see, we've seen a number of our students who we've been supporting for a while informally who've begun to graduate. So you'll see we have graduates from Brandeis and George Washington and Morehouse and Bethune-Cookman and Georgia State and all these incredible schools because our students have gotten the support that they deserve, and our students are going off and as I've said more than once already, taking these campuses by storm. The elephant in the room this year as we talk is really always COVID. So I of course want to talk about College Aim's COVID response and what we've been able to do thanks to the folks on this call, thanks to our supporters, thanks to our donors, thanks to our volunteers. So I think this part of the story starts on March 13th for College Aim, when COVID really became a reality in Georgia. I was actually on a college trip with 25 high school seniors at the time. We were pulling into Albany, Georgia on our bus, and I got a text message from Albany State and from Gordon State that our tours at those two schools were canceled for the next day. We had to turn the bus around the next morning and drive back to Atlanta, and that's how we began our virtual world in College Aim. Pretty quickly, we were able to establish an emergency fund thanks to some really generous donations that came in March and April from our supporters. We raised almost $4,000, and as you can see, we're still dispersing those dollars to help our students and their families with emergency funding around basic needs, around medicine, academic supports, travel back to campus to pick up belongings and things of that nature. We also were able to pivot all of our programming to the virtual world. So we started doing counseling just like this via Zoom, although in a Zoom meeting, not a webinar format. We were doing college and financial aid counseling starting in March this way, and over the phone and via text and via Instagram chat and every other possible way, FaceTime, I can't even think of all them. And then we rolled out some summer curriculum to help our students transition to college, even though we were still in the virtual world, through our College 101 curriculum and a number of workshops. The last thing that really was a central piece of our pivot this year was tutoring and career coaching that we put in place for our seniors, or I should say for our college students. Last year, when our students who are in college were forced to come home and lost kind of that personal connection to campus, a lot of the resources that they had come to rely on suddenly were much more difficult to access. So the tutoring that they had gotten through their tutoring center on campus or through a TA or through professors' office hours suddenly were gone. Career coaching that a lot of our upperclassmen required or really leaned on and also needed to make sure that they were using their college experience to get the job that they were hoping for was also suddenly much less accessible. So we had a number of volunteers step up, some of whom are on this call, so thank you. thank you for stepping up and working with our students, because it has made a huge difference in their paths, and it's allowed us to continue, not quite seamlessly, but continue to support students in the ways that they deserve. So that was our COVID response, but I also want to talk more broadly about our last fiscal year. College AIM works in school years because we're an educational program. So we're looking at the 1920 school year, which is also our fiscal year, which was an exciting year for us. We grew our program, where we added 9th and 10th grade programming at one of our partner high schools. We started a strategic planning process that's going to take us through the next 3 years. We added some really incredible corporate partners this year. As we talked about, we responded to COVID. We added a couple board members. We launched a lot of virtual programming. And then perhaps most notably, this past summer, we were able to add 2 incredible new members of our staff leadership team, Ms. Jamesia Terry and Dr. Corey Sheffield. Ms. Jamesia Terry leads our post-secondary success work, meaning she leads all of the work on the college side. And Dr. Sheffield leads all of our work on the access side, meaning all of our work on the high school side. So I'm going to be quiet because I have talked enough, but I'm going to pass it along to our other member of the leadership team who I have not mentioned yet, Ms. Joanne Santavasi, who has put all of this together to give a little bit of an overview of what she does, and then pass it along to our other members of the leadership team as well.
Okay, hello, my name is Joanne, and I'm typically very much behind the scenes, except for tonight when I am coming out to say hello. I enjoy being behind the scenes, and I'm the associate director. I help Sam with fundraising and events, and work on data management and systems. And I also help organize the logistics for all of the college trips and tours, which is no small feat, since some of them are just mind-blowingly packed full of events. When Sam first told me about what it entails for a college trip, I thought, when do these kids even have time to sleep or go to the bathroom, because they go the entire time. And I also work on the communication. So all the emails and the monthly newsletters and the annual report, those are things that are coming off of my desk and into your inboxes. So hopefully you're enjoying them and it's not too much college AIM information. But I also do the annual Metro Atlanta College Access Conference, which is another big project of mine, which is one of our signature events that I think it's in the 6th year now, and we had to go virtual, but my first year I was kind of baptized by fire by organizing that event live. And then the second year, once I had all the plans down and I was ready to go, I had to learn everything over again to make it virtual. So it's always exciting, and there's always new things to do and discover in this role, which I love. And I guess, one of my best parts of working here is that now we have this incredible team that I get to work with and learn from and grow with, and they're so passionate and it's inspiring. But I also really, really, really love being part of these students' journeys. I think this point in life is so exciting, and to be a part of this pivotal moment for them and support them and watch them go onto these amazing adventures and accomplishments is just really rewarding. So I'm going to pass it over now to Dr. Corey Sheffield, who works on our high school side.
All right, good evening, everyone. Again, my name is Corey Sheffield, and I serve as the program manager for post-secondary access. I am extremely excited to be a part of the College AIM family. As Sam said, I and myself and Jamesia joined the College AIM family in July, and it has been nothing but wonderful. Wonderful. So, and I'm extremely excited to be here. Again, basically, I am on the high school side, and I am responsible for working with those students day in and day out to make sure that they have a solid plan for post-secondary education. And so this has been a busy semester, making sure the phone calls, the texts, repeat, 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 social media, phone calls and texts. Just making sure that the students really understand how important this is and how much we want them to succeed. I kind of echo Joanne's statement, just why we do this work, and just make it. And I think we do it because I personally get that excitement and knowing that I am helping a student's dream come true and and helping their life to change. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done in this space. And so I am extremely excited as part of the leadership team to lead this effort. We know that, again, there's so much more that needs to be done. Hopefully next semester, as things get a little better, we'll be able to do more with our students. So that is what the access side looks like. Again, just really a lot of guidance, a lot of individual college counseling. And once those students, again, hit that submit button, they get that acceptance letter, they've made that decision. That's when we get into the little more of the groundwork and then the success work. And so I am now going to turn that over to Miss Jamesia Terry.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. It's nice to meet you virtually. My name is Jamesia Terry. And like it's been mentioned before, I started with College AIM also this summer, hitting the ground running with meeting the collegians who were prepared to head off into college and then into this new space and new era that we're all trying to exist and thrive in. With the collegian side of programming and the success side of programming, I'm responsible for providing and facilitating College 101, which is our summer melt prevention program. I also do very regular check-ins with the students to provide academic, social / community engagement, as well as financial guidance. Also on the success side, we are tasked with building community amongst the collegians, whether that's between collegians who are on the same campus or across campuses, because they've all come from high schools here in Atlanta. I'm also responsible for leading our virtual tutoring programming as well as career coaching. So if you're interested in volunteering and helping out, please let us know, as well as helping administer the emergency funds. My favorite thing about working with the collegians is being there with them when they experience those aha moments or those moments when they achieve something that they thought was impossible, like a week before they accomplish it. It's really exciting being their biggest fan and their cheerleader. The most rewarding part of my job is being able to build genuine relationships with the fabulous collegians, such as Kaylin Johnson, who is a sophomore at Georgia State. And so, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Kaylin.
I think you got to unmute, Kaylin. We're in Zoom land. This is the norm.
Yes, can you guys hear me now?
Every meeting. Yeah, you're good, Kaylin. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. So hi everyone, I'm Kaylin Johnson. I became involved with College AIM my junior year of high school at Towers, and since then it has been a great journey. I was referred by a teacher who basically she saw my desire to study at a four-year institution, and since then, I've used College AIM to my advantage, and they have definitely taught me so much, and I've just enjoyed the process of being with them and being involved and being so active. Beginning, I actually applied to a program, basically like a college tour, and we went around the tri-state area. We went to Washington, New York, and also Connecticut. My favorite state was New York, and so I enjoyed that. And since then, I've learned so much about, the college process, and I've been able to use those things to my advantage. During that whole time of getting prepared to go on the college trip, we actually had to engage in fundraising opportunities and, college and application workshops, which basically taught me about my writing. And Mr. A always says that I'm a great writer. And I'm actually learning that I am, and I'm getting more involved with that. And I have a couple of things that I would like to try out, and College AIM is definitely going to take me along that journey. Also, during that time period, I was able to receive a scholarship from Hernan. He awarded me this scholarship, which he started after he graduated college, and I think was able to give back to the community, and so I appreciate him for that as well. That was one of my biggest moments because I didn't expect it at all. I had worked so hard that whole year, and I was applying for scholarships, and at moments I felt like giving up, in college and pushed me so hard. Like you have to keep going, you have to keep going because this is what you wanted. And eventually it paid off. And to receive a scholarship from College Aim, that was pretty cool. Going forward, I've been giving back to College Aim myself because they have given me so much. One of those things included College 101, which is basically like where I talk to students about how college goes and like what's important, what are the things that you need to know, and how you can basically succeed without having to go to through too much trouble to get to finish out. And so we talked a little bit about what you should get to prepare, what things you should use on campus, meaning like your advisors and also your teachers, your professors, what questions to ask when you really need help, and where to go when you don't know what to do, and how to keep going, definitely when you get down during those moments of college, because they say college is not like high school, and it's definitely not, but they don't tell you that it's a journey and it's a learning experience, and that you grow from it. Every class that you take, every professor that you meet, every person that you come in contact with, every friend that you make, is such a journey, and it's an impact that has really just changed my life, and I'm still enjoying it because I have 2 more years. Yeah. And so from there, my goals after college are definitely to continue to give back to College Aim in different ways. Myself, I would like to start a nonprofit organization, which kind of focuses a little bit on self-growth and confidence, working in that space. Being a student myself, I had to learn, how to build my self-confidence and my self-esteem, especially with school, also just within myself, and being able to accomplish goals and stuff, and seeing the change that I've had my own. I want to be able to do that for other people. And College Aim has definitely helped me along the way. Just by everything that they've given me, I've been able to do speaking engagements like this. Also, I've also received scholarships, like I mentioned. And so that has helped me along the way as well. The different bonds and relationships that I have formed with College Aim, Mr. A being one, Miss Jamisha Terry, also, Miss Dr. Sheffield, and along with Miss Joanne, they've all been great. And I've just learned so much from them, and I appreciate all their opportunities. And not only just knowing them, it's so many people behind the scenes that I don't know that I appreciate as well. I don't know all of you guys, but all the sponsors and everybody else that supports College Aims, the volunteers, everybody, you guys are so important to me. And I didn't get to meet all of you guys all the time, but you guys matter so much. And so I just appreciate you guys for being here tonight, and helping us out and listening to us and listening to what I had to say. So thank you.
Kaylin, thank you so much for joining. We're the ones who should be thanking you for sharing your story, for sharing a bit of what this experience has been like for you. I am always in awe when I hear you speak of all the things that I've seen you accomplish. I mean, I guess I've known you 4 years or so now, and I know I'm going to make you embarrassed now that I'm saying this in front of other people. But truly, every time we talk, I'm impressed by the way that you approach life, approach work, approach academics, approach other people. I mean, you just provide such joy and such positivity to others. I appreciate you sharing that with us. I really do.
Thank you. Thank you.
Of course.
And there's so many other students just like me who matter just as much. I enjoy speaking during things like this. I rep for College Aim anytime, any chance that I get, because they have changed my life and it's made such an impact on me. Anytime I get the chance to boast about College Aim, I definitely do that and above. Like, I need y'all to come out with some merch because I'm gonna rep it every time.
We need to do better about getting these College Aim polos out to everyone so you can wrap it
I
as
would appreciate a hoodie.
a
I like
hoodie. Okay.
those.
I'm
I
taking
like hoodies.
to write this down. I see Jelena in the chat, who's also a College Aim collegian, says she wants a hoodie too. Okay, noted. Hoodie. This needs to be like College Aim Christmas presents next year or something. I don't know what. All right, I'm gonna pivot a little bit at this point, and introduce someone else who has been a central member of the College Aim family for a long time now. I remember I guess it would have been, geez, 7, 8 years ago now that I first met Adnan as a student at Towers, and he was um, just one of those students who always pushed teachers to work harder because he was smarter than his teachers. It's kind of annoying when I was a math teacher and that was the case, but he's gone on to do some incredible things, including this past May, earning his master's in engineering from Tufts University, in mechanical engineering from Tufts University, and is, whenever I talk to him, he talks about things that I just don't understand. So it goes way above my head. I'm going to pass the microphone, metaphorically speaking, over to Hernan Gallegos, one of our wonderful College AIM alums, and for the past 2 years now, a College AIM board member as well, for him to talk about kind of his experiences on both sides.
So making sure I'm unmute. Yeah, as Mr. A mentioned, it's been about 7, 8 years since College AIM has pretty much cultivated into this great entity, this great organization. And since then, being on both sides, I've seen so much growth. I remember my very first moments with College AIM was hearing about the spring break trip my sophomore year, I believe. And then from there, junior year, that's when College AIM took students like across the East Coast essentially, to show them and expose them to what college actually is, as opposed to what you hear in the media or read on articles. And that was sort of the pivotal moment for me, realizing not only was college important, but it breaks a lot of cycles that were briefly mentioned at the beginning of this session. And from then on, I remember going through all the iterations of like writing a personal statement or understanding what college was, understanding FAFSA, because nobody understands that to this, like even now, and just learning how crucial it was for college, for many students, especially coming from Towers, where I graduated from in 2015, how important that was. And then from then on, I never would have thought I would have experienced things such as going abroad in France, doing research in engineering education to pursue a master's later on, all within 5 years because of the potential that College AIM saw in me. I knew I was smart and I knew I challenged my teachers a lot, apparently. But it wasn't until College AIM where it sort of allowed me to actually cultivate who I am as an individual to then pursue higher education, specifically Tufts in my case. And because of that, I knew I didn't want to take it for granted. I knew I wanted to give back immediately after graduating from Towers in 2015. And so what was mentioned is the scholarship that I created to give back to one particular student, because I knew that the students who were working with College AIM had the potential. Like people saw the potential in them, whether they didn't see it themselves, similar to how College AIM did to me. And I wanted to sort of continue that mentality of these students coming from these underrepresented areas or under-resourced areas have the potential to succeed and do great things within the future. And it's beautiful to see the growth of College AIM since when it was first created back in Towers, with literally just Mr. A in charge of everything and the students helping him out, to having a great leadership team, to having a board, which I'm grateful to be a part of, and seeing how College AIM is still to this day prioritizing not the people organizing everything, but the students since the very beginning. Even hearing now from every panelist in the session, they have mentioned a student or the students being a crucial part in their role to have College AIM be a success story. And even now, I didn't get to experience much of the success portion of what's been brought up in College AIM, but I am happy enough to be a part of it to some degree now, and seeing that part is also being cultivated and being a part of and working with students who are currently in school. And just seeing the growth. I don't know where College AIM is going to go now, but I'm excited to see where the growth is going. And this is all a lot, not thanks to the great leadership of College AIM, but also the great donations and the donors who see the potential in not just this organization, but the students within the program, within the organization. And I just wanted to say that I could see the trajectory of the students being success stories, of being successful in their own degree for many years to come, to be honest. Like I can't even quantify the number of years just because I know the way College Aim is prioritizing students, it's prioritizing the way they have parents involved, it's prioritizing just a whole community, an inclusive community within these areas, all through this organization. That College Aim is going to do it's going to do a lot of people just, I'm blanking out here just because I am losing my words, but College Aim is definitely going to release the potential within the students to actually achieve their definition of success, if that makes sense. But yeah, no, it's just been a beautiful experience working with College Aim even up to now as a current board member, understanding where the future of College Aim is going and seeing that, okay, they're still prioritizing students. As a student myself who went through the organization, who went through the program, still seeing that to this day has been a really beautiful thing for me. And I'm glad to be a part of this, to be a part of the board and to give back to College Aim students one way or another, whether it's through the scholarship or whether it's through advice, mentorship, or any other degree of however College Aim needs support in. Yeah, I think that wraps up my whole experience with College Aim. It's been a very beautiful cultivation of just experiences overall.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. I guess 7 years of experience, which is crazy for me to think back about. But thank you for sharing that with us and for serving on our board. As Nani alluded to, it's really important to College Aim that we always have a student or an alum on our board, and we're hoping to grow that presence because this is an organization that not only prioritizes students in terms of what we do, but prioritizes the voices and opinions of students as well. There are a lot of organizations that kind of come in with their own agenda about what they think a process should be, and we take a different approach. We intentionally say we want the feedback, we want the input of students, we want the input of parents, we want to make sure that this is a support that's wanted by the communities in which we work and in which we're a part. So thank you for sharing that, and thank you for emphasizing that. I think that's an essential piece of who we are. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen one last time as we kind of bring this evening to a close and let y'all get back to your regularly scheduled programming. And I want to talk, I'd be remiss if I did not talk a little bit about how you can support College Aim this holiday season as well. I know a lot of folks on the call have already been supporting us this holiday season and this year and for many, many years. And for that, I say a huge, huge thank you. But if you are looking for ways to support at this point, there are a couple different things you can do. Number one, you can bid on various items on our online auction. I just placed a bid myself this afternoon because there's some items on there that look great for folks in the Atlanta area. There may be a few more things that are accessible to you. For folks who are from out of town, I think there's still a couple items that we can put in the mail and ship that would still be good for out of towners. So you can bid on items via our online auction. And I believe I'm taking a look at the chat. Perfect. Joanne just put the link in the chat to our online auction. It closes tonight just before midnight. And then the second thing you can do if you're looking to support College Aim is you can donate to our end of year campaign. So we were really lucky to have a wonderful corporate sponsor, Luter, Larkin and Hunter, the past several years, who has been a sponsor, as I mentioned, for the past several years. They offered to match donations during the month of December to College Aim up to $5,000. So you'll see we have our little thermometer that continues to be updated. Right now, we are at just over $7,500. That's including both the match and the donations. So we've got about $1,200 more to go until we use all that match, and we'd love to go beyond it as well. So if you want to make a donation this holiday season in your name or as a gift, collegeaim.org/donation is the place to go. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for joining us this evening. I'm going to stop the screen share so I can see all the other panelists again. Thank you all for joining us this evening. Thank you for supporting our students. Thank you for supporting this work.